And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, Tom Vasel here, and today we're taking a look at a game called Glux. Now Glux is like lighting, connecting lights, and lights are like drawing other lights. You know the whole aspect of electric lights where you're like ding, and then a line goes ooh, bing. That sort of thing is something that attracts people, and that's what this game is kind of based on. Now this is an abstract strategy game in which you are using chips and placing them on the board in strategic ways to control areas on the board, but also to definitely, most certainly mess with the other players. It's a 2 to 4 player game. Here's how it works. So each player is going to start in a corner of the board. There's a chip there to show their corner spot. They're going to pull a chip from their bag and place it on one of the sides on top of that chip. Now each player has different chips in their bag. There's 3 different types of chips, one with a 6 and a 1, one with a 3 and a 4, one with a 5 and a 2, the same as the sides of a dice. So on a player's turn, they're going to pull a chip from the bag. So here I pulled a 6 or a 1. I then look at this one here. So this one shows a 6. So I count away exactly 6 spaces in a straight line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I decide to put it here. Now I could put it here on the 6 side or the 1 side, but I choose to put it on the 1 side. And then each of the other players goes, maybe the 4 player, he pulls a 4, 3. So he goes 1, 2, 3, 4 and puts a 3 there. And then the yellow player, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they put a 6 here, which they pulled from the bag. The green player pulls a 4, 3, so they go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They go here and put a 4 there. Now, on the red player's next turn, and you'll play a chip and draw a chip, so you have time to think about your turn. So they pull a 1, 6. Now, they can go up to this original chip, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or they can go here and go 1 in any of the 3 directions. So let's say they decide to go 1 hand. That's a bad move, but let's just pretend they did that. Okay, so now the purple player is going to draw a chip, and the purple player gets a 5, 2. So they count from here 3. Now, they could go here, which would not be a bad idea, but they also want to land on top of this red chip. So they do so, and they place a 5 on top of that, which means on a future turn, they can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in that direction, but they cannot go this way. Now, why is that? Because if any chip, even your own chip, will block your movement. So 5 also can't go this way. If you're going to come off this 5 chip, you can only go in one direction, while this 3 spot can still go here, or it can go back here. You can land on top of another chip, but you can never land on top of 2 chips. So now that the 5 is landed here, the 1 can't retaliate and go on top of the 5. And you also are never allowed to go on top of someone's home chip, wherever that is. Now, what are you trying to do in this game? Well, you're trying to go inside these light blue areas, because at the end of the game, you're going to count up the pips on all the chips that you have in each area. And whoever has the most pips is going to get 4 points. Whoever has the second most chips is going to get 2 points. And you'll keep track of that with these. And if there's, if there's ties, then you'll split the points. But you'll notice there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 on the board. So there's an odd number. So likely someone's going to win. If you play a 3-player game, one person will start with their piece here and the other people. So it's kind of like a triangle. If you play a 2-player game, there's another side to the board with a smaller board for 2 players to go at it. It's possible that you will get stuck over the course of the game. Once per game, each player is allowed to replace their initial chip with another one. And if you have no other moves, you actually have to do that. You can only do that once, though. If you can't do it again, you're out. So the game is going to progress until people can no longer play chips, which is possible because of just the way that the chips are placed on the board. Everyone blocks each other, and there's just no way to play chips, or until everyone has played all the chips from their bag. You then will score each of these areas, and whoever has the most points is the winner. Now, first of all, I really like the look of Glux. The chips, well, I mean, it's just basic cardboard chips, but they look good on the board. It's easy to see. It's easy to tell the difference. The chips, you're spreading them all over the board. It just has a cool look as it goes by. It is definitely an abstract strategy game, and you really don't have a ton of moves that you can make at any given point. Like at the beginning of the game, you have 2 moves. And then once you put your chip down, you may have 3 or 4 moves. Now, as you put out each chip, your moves expand, but then as other players put out chips and you kind of shrink down. So at any given point, you might have 7 or 8 different moves that you can make. And then your chip has 2 sides, so you just double whatever moves you're going to put out there. However, that does present you with some interesting choices. I like that fact that it kind of keeps your choices from ever being too many, but it does allow you're trying to think and plan ahead. You don't know what chip you're going to pull from the bag next, so there's a bit of randomness there. But honestly, there's only 3 types of chips from the bag, and the number differentiation is pretty close. You also have the same number of chips in the bag of each type. I think there's 6 of each one. So you kind of know what's coming and you can plan ahead. Now, this game is mean. I mean, mean. And that's good, because it's not that you're being mean to other people on purpose, but you are definitely trying to block other people. You are definitely trying to move into areas and capture their pieces. And it's really intriguing to me, the differences, especially in the 1625 chips, right? At first you're like, wow, well, the 6 chip is better for several reasons. One, it lets me move 6. Also, if I get that in one of those area control spots, that's 6 pips. It's going to help me win. The problem you have is if you put a 6 pips chip in one of those area control spots, you quickly find out that, oh, that's the only chip I'm going to be able to get in there, because every other chip that comes from that chip goes out. While if you drop a 1 in there, you can then go and drop other chips. However, the 1 doesn't really give you much area control, and it also kind of restricts your mobility. So the low numbers are nice because you can go close. They help you capture pieces. They help you solidify areas, but they don't give you that range and mobility and the power that the bigger numbers do. And I really enjoy this game because every number is very balanced. The 1 is just as good as the 6, it's just as good as the 2, the 5, the 3, and the 4. And you pull it out, and there's clever moves. You'll make a move. You'll see sometimes the enemy coming, and there's really nothing you can do about it. You just watch as they walk into your territory because of the way they set their chips up. And I think it works really well with all 3 counts of players. This game was just a big surprise to me at how much I enjoyed it. Constantly wanting to see what's next. It doesn't take very long. We're talking 30 to 45 minutes, but it has a good oomph to it. It's a new kind of abstract strategy game. Usually abstract strategy games are like get so many in a row or capture your opponent's pieces. Here it's an area control game, but it works really well. Highly recommend it. Glux. Dice Tower Judgment. Excellent.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door.